All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar in collaboration with Exactus Energy. Today, we're going to be discussing national on-demand solar site surveys at the click of a button. I'm Eliza. I'm going to be your moderator today. We're thrilled to have you join us this afternoon for an exciting and insightful session. Today, we have Danny and Matt here. They're going to lead the discussion and guide you through a demonstration, as well as answer any questions that you may have. So I strongly encourage you to utilize the Q&A box that you'll find at the bottom of your screen for any questions that you may have. But yeah, once again, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to be here, and let's go ahead and get started. I'll go through the agenda with you. So, first of all, we have Danny from Enact. So, I'm going to have him go through a little bit about Enact, what we do, and then he'll jump into a live demo of our solar design software. After that, we'll go ahead and pass it over to Matt, CEO at Exactus, and he can inform you all about Exactus Energy and what they do. At the end, we're going to save some time for questions. But like I mentioned before, please go ahead and utilize that Q&A box throughout the session, and we'll do our best to get to all of your questions. But I'll pass it over to Danny.
Yeah, thanks, Liza. Um, let's see. Yeah, so thanks for joining, everyone. We're partnered today with Exactus Energy. They're pretty big on the, uh, you know, commercial end of applications for anything related to a plant set, structural, electrical. Um, but before I pass it to Matt, we're going to start with an intro on Enact for those of you that may not know about us yet. So we're in over 35 countries. We do over 1.5 billion in proposals per year through our software, and we cater to residential and commercial clients. Um, so we'll quickly be able to evaluate any site virtually from the luxury of your office, or if you have sales reps that are uh, out on knocking doors or responding to leads, they can quickly do the design too. So depending on if your operations team or if you have a design team, if they handle the design, it can also be rolled out to sales rep for contract signing, but just depends on your own process. Um, but you can generate any kind of proposal, full 25-year cash flow, and customize those to your full ability. It's very customizable for your brand to help you stand out. That's just the pricing and financing. So yeah, we will actually, do we want to go and do the software demonstration, Eliza?
Yeah, go ahead and jump on into that, Danny.
Sweet. So I'll show you guys a quick commercial demo application. And basically, we're going to be looking at how we can help streamline permitting from our tool to Exactus Engineering's team. So I've just logged into Enact. Traditionally, I would go into creating a project and entering in the location, right? But oh, that's actually a mini commercial rooftop solar. The sake of today, we're actually just going to jump into a sample project. This is a commercial one we've already entered in the address for. Um, but as you can see here, I have a couple different designs on this particular project. I can create a new one too. Um, so this is the UI of Enact. Everything that you have for designing is going to be on the left side. And once you go into any particular section, for example, panels, the ability to edit any panel or orientation and design would be here. With the inverters, they also come up on this side. So this is based on your save settings. So I'll be showing a quick demonstration of a roof using all the modules for design, starting with the roof section. So if I go onto this roof here, you can see I'm following the blue lines, getting a nice 90-degree angle, and I immediately get my setbacks already included in that portion. I can go to obstacles and mark in a walkway. From there, I can, put panels on the roof. So fill roof, it'll do a max fit design. Well, I do want to quickly show the obstacles. So sorry about that. I'll actually do this obstacle and I can copy them over since I know that they're all the same height. A couple different forms of those. But yeah, it's a quick draw on the obstacles there with setbacks too, and then I would go fill this roof up. Yeah, and you can, copy and drag, multi-select any panel uh, sections from there, or just double click to delete any. Like I wouldn't install this here, so I might take that out pretty quickly, and that looks good to go. Um, and then when you go into 3D, you can really see the full racking systems, and I have a 10-degree tilt here. If you click show more on the panels, you can actually see all the inter-row spacing for a commercial design. So coming down here, you see row spacing, column spacing, inter-row, frame height, and then you can choose a racking manufacturer. But you would design, the project accordingly. And once you're done there, you can go onto the inverter and choose kind of what setup you want. This is based on some of the past webinars we've had and some things I have saved in my account. But I could use a SolarEdge 100K battery, or sorry, inverter, and then maybe we'll put some storage. Currently has pretty small. Yeah, so this is a EG4 122 rated capacity, 122.9. So yeah, you can model up any type of, commercial inverter and storage uh, kind of modeling on different designs depending on what products you're looking to compare and see what potentially has the best output on storage, for example. Um, we could also model a time-based discharge if the rates are higher at any particular times to make sure that you're offsetting the bill to the highest capacity. But yeah, once you're ready with that, you would go on to simulating shading, pull a shade report, download a DXF file. Um, so let that load. Yeah, so it's per array, you can see here. And I could download that and it'll come with all the 3D images. Same with the DXF file here. But yeah, I would go on to simulating this project. We would probably have to max out the parking lot to offset their full bill. Um, yeah, we're going to be able to see some charts that'll help us look at the real numbers of the project. So 13% grid independence, 57% actual bill offset. This is the energy offset at the top. This is the actual bill offset based on the rate, uh, more specifically. And then you can go and see all these charts that are per month and per every month and hour of the year. So grid independence chart, grid import. So you're importing when the sun is not shining, right? And then this one's a 8760 file. You can download any of these charts or add them into your custom proposals. So I would download this file to see a 8760 report of production, grid export chart. Yeah, a couple of other sales offsets and cost of doing nothing that you really want to hone in on. Uh, Specifically the monthly bill difference, right? So yeah, so once you go here, then you can move on to pricing and you get a full bill of materials and you can push the proposal. But this is where you do your pricing, financing, incentives. But we are going to focus on the permitting aspect today for today's webinar. So I will just go back into the first page of this project. And you can see, permit package. So this is the integration we have with Exactus. It's going to allow you to inquire to get that design uh, inputted for a permit. And we'd be open to giving them Exactus access to all the data to really speed up that design. So that's the idea behind that integration that really is going to help speed things up for you guys. So yeah, with that, I'm going to stop sharing and pass it to you, Matt, just to make a little intro and tell us all about our permitting availabilities.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. Appreciate that. Can you guys see that okay? Hear me okay?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, really appreciate that intro. Yeah, so really what we'll focus on here at Exactus is basically the field survey, go to site, collect all the data that's required, and then we'll take it all the way through the engineering process. So these are generally sort of the three main packages we offer, but really we'll offer all of our services a la carte style. So we'll work both residential and commercial projects. So say for a residential project, our turnkey scope would include basically everything from your point of sale up to having a set of stamped plans. So starts with scheduling of the project. We've built an online scheduling platform, which will be integrated with the Enact platform as well. You can be sitting with your customer when they've signed or otherwise have them on the phone. You can just log into our platform, type in the address of that home, and this software knows where all our field technicians are, where there's gaps in their schedule, and it'll just present a bunch of available time slots. So typically 1 to 3 days out, we'll present generally 20 to 30 time slots for the customer to pick from. They can pick one that works for them and it just books right into our calendar. So you don't have to call us to book an appointment. We don't have to call your customer and introduce another touch point. So in an ideal world, we're going from customer sign to site survey booked instantaneously. When that time slot rolls around, we will send a field technician out to site. They will always do a drone-based roof survey, so get some really nice, accurate, granular rooftop data, which again can feed into the Enact platform. We will collect any structural or electrical measurements on site, pulling the cover off the electrical panel, getting a nice folder full of photos. And if you opt for the turnkey package, which includes design and engineering, we'll take it the rest of the way through permit. So we will take all that data we got on site, we'll design out the plan set, we'll always customize the plan set based on the AHJ where the project is located. We've done hundreds of thousands of projects. We have a big AHJ database. We make sure that they're getting what they want to see. Our structural engineer stamps it, our electrical engineer stamps it, and we send it off to you guys 2 business days following the site survey, ready to submit. So that's sort of the long and short of it. Our field survey staff are across 26 states, where you can just book on the spot through our platform. Our stamped engineering is across all 50. So this virtual package would be basically the design and engineering without the site survey. If you guys want to provide that detail to us, we have a streamlined process to get that data over to us. And then a collab is basically a site survey. On the commercial side, a very similar scope where we'll just go into more detail. So we'll do an on-roof plus a drone-based survey, get you down to 1/4-inch accuracy on your roof survey, gather your structural and electrical measurements, and then take it all the way through the structural phase and the electrical phase along with these stamps. So On the residential side, like I said, several 100,000 projects completed over the past 10 years. On the commercial side, projects between 100 kilowatts and 5 megawatts. We've completed, close to 5,000 full engineering sets. So, a lot of experience, and, we'll make sure to go the extra mile when we're creating a plan set for you or collecting field data for you, going further than just creating, a code compliant layout that's going to get you to permit. We're going to go a step further and really think critically to, leverage our expertise to ultimately maximize the ROI in your projects, to think critically about every design component, every wire run, everything that goes into that design to ultimately maximize your ROI. So that's the long and short of it. Happy to take any questions you guys might have. This is just a snip of that scheduling platform, some samples of what a residential field survey might look like. And that's about it. So yeah, I would love to field any questions you guys might have, and really, really appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for diving in. Looks like we have a few questions here, so I'd love to kind of get started and kind of go through those. The first one, Matt, maybe you can elaborate on this a little bit, is just what is Exactus's capability with handling commercial projects?
Yeah, good question. We're by revenue probably about a 50-50 split between residential projects and then projects between that 100 kilowatt and 5 megawatt AC mark. We don't, from an electrical perspective, we don't do a ton beyond that 5 megawatt AC mark. But yeah, we're about a 50-50 split. So we'll do a lot of work as you get into that medium voltage territory. We'll take care of all those additional studies that are required in-house, things like arc flash studies or power system studies. We'll take care of. Been doing it 10 years. So yeah, very comfortable in the commercial space for sure.
Awesome. And a question for you, Danny, about the Enact software. Is there a risk-free trial of the software? This says, or can I sign up today and get a refund if I don't want to move forward after testing out the software?
Oh, I was muted there. Yeah, we can definitely support a small trial. Um, yeah, but pricing did go up. We can honor lower pricing since it is webinar based with our partnership.
Okay, awesome. And also, Danny, is Enact a global company, and what other countries is the software available?
So we primarily are in the US, Germany, some offices in Spain, and we are a global company in that sense.
Great. Okay, looks like we have a couple more for Exactus. Again, those of you who are online as well, please continue to use that Q&A box. Matt, do the site technicians contact the homeowner directly before the site survey? And are they representing Exactus Energy?
Yeah, good question as well. Yeah, we'll generally, so when you book through our platform, it'll send an automated email back to the customer, which will say who their technician will be, the name of that technician, and then when their appointment is, a confirmation of that. Our techs will typically give a call to residential customers when they're on their way to site, just to make sure they're home and to minimize those no-shows. When they show up, that same scheduling platform will do a couple other things than just schedule. One thing it'll do is create a smart ID badge, which will have the customer's name, it'll have our client's name, it'll have a photo of the technician and the time of the appointment, so they can show that through the window. Then it was there. They'll generally be unbranded, so it won't say Exactus on their shirt or on their vehicle or anything like that. So typically we're coming unbranded, but we say, we're showing up on behalf of, our customer's name.
Awesome. And what happens if a homeowner needs to cancel a site survey?
Yeah, that would just get, you just go into the platform the same way you go to book. That'll have a record of any appointments you have that are upcoming, and you can just go into there and, cancel, reschedule, and all those new time slots will pop up, just like when you book the initial appointment, and you can book an appointment on the spot without having to call us.
That sounds nice. I have one last question. It's for Danny. Actually, looks like on the Enact website, there's an asset management feature. Can you briefly touch on, why solar installers should utilize that asset management feature within the Enact software?
Yeah, the monitoring tool actually allows you to track all your sites, regardless of the inverter. So typically you're using one app. Uh, well, you're using an app based on the inverter, so SolarEdge or Tesla or whatever it might be, as opposed to Enact where you can kind of centralize all of the different products into one app. And that way you can kind of have a central hub of all your projects for tracking.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for all of the questions, and a huge thank you to Exactus for partnering with Enact here on this webinar. I guess I will hand back the rest of the hour to our attendees, nice and short. But anyways, thanks again for joining, and we will email out a recording of the webinar as well. Thanks again. Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.